All right. Welcome, people I don't know and other people who already know me. We just had a draft, a 10-man league. Some of those teams suck. And just going to do a quick recap, see how that went. I'm going to start with the best draft grade, Dr. Kevin Opeth. Way to go, buddy. And that's the best draft grade by Yahoo. I'm going to go in order. Since it's a 10-man league, everybody's team is probably already pretty good, or at least should have been. So I'm mostly going to be judging on what would be a starting roster, but I will shit on teams that have no depth. Kevin, you have a very solid starting roster, and that'd be Russell Wilson, Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen, and DJ Moore currently as your starter. I think those are three number ones on their respective teams. They'll see a lot of targets. Thomas, stud. Thielen was great last year. DJ Moore, Teddy Bridgewater. I think you have three good wide receivers. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, projected guy in Kansas City. There's no hate there. He is probably going to kill it like any running back that would play with Patrick Mahomes. Volume should be there. Scoring opportunities across the board, fine. Aaron Jones, also solid pick. Killed it last year. He scored probably too many touchdowns, but I don't think it's repeatable. But the value's there. Rookie A.J. Dillon maybe breaks in and steals some goal line work, which could hurt, but Aaron Jones can still break it. Look at the rest of your roster. You have two more decent wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Gallup. Both have value. I'm a fan. Tennessee just never has to throw the ball, so it's going to be hard to justify starting A.J. Brown ever. Howard, no thanks in Miami. Stafford, I really like as a backup to Russell Wilson. Stafford killed it last year for half the year before he went away, so I think you have two good starting quarterbacks, as you should. Gronk, I would have touched him, but maybe he's definitely not going to get the volume. Hunter Renfrow, third best receiver on that team. The other two are rookies. Prater, New England's defense. I hate New England's defense because so many of their defenders opted out. So I don't think you're getting the same defense from last year. I agree with your A- report card from Yahoo because the only thing I don't really like your depth at running back because your only depth at running back is Jordan Howard. But outside of that, solid. All right, next guy is fecal monologist. Oh, click the wrong button. Excuse. All right, there we go. He received a B from Yahoo with the team of Deshaun Watson, Devontae Parker, DJ Chark, Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Dallas Goedert, and Miles Sanders as his starters. Not that these guys aren't going to get a lot of work, but currently both your receivers are on shitty teams, but you do have DK Metcalf on your non-starting roster, which I understand nobody probably set their roster yet, so I'm making assumptions. DJ Metcalf I really like. Slide him up in there. Devontae Parker should stay. DJ Chark should probably go, but Jacksonville's going to be terrible, so they should be throwing a lot. Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, two great starting running backs. Miles Sanders, a lot of upside. Hasn't really been seen yet, and if he can handle the workload, but he has a ton of volume that he should be getting. Jameson Crowder, no thanks. Deebo Samuel, I don't trust any San Francisco wide receivers season long. I think they'll all have decent startable games, but I think it'll be very difficult to project what games who is going to show up. San Francisco wants to run the ball. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to throw the ball all game. I will say, okay. I like the overall team. Buffalo defense, Robbie Gold, fine. Both startable, usable kickers. Yeah, I mean, solid team. Like I said, I agree with Yahoo's report card. I kind of the same. Devin Singletary, I'm afraid he gives up a lot of work to Zach Moss, and that maybe becomes a split backfield, which Devin Singletary has value if he's the primary ball carrier, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't think you have to worry about that. I think your other three running backs ahead of him are much better. So, excellent draft. Way to go. Debo Dacious Tatas is going to be next. This is Greg. I don't know who Greg is, but hey, Greg. Aaron Rodgers, extremely late. I was so surprised to see him just falling down the board, but fantastic quarterback. You can't go wrong. He's still a big name and still has a lot of value, even though he went super late. Odell Beckham Jr., down year. Okay year, just not an Odell Beckham year. Poised for a bounce back. I think it's very possible. Allen Robinson, same deal. Apparently, Mitch Trubisky is going to be throwing the ball at least to start the year. He has big games, volumes there. Odell, I think, fights for volume in that offense. So he kind of doesn't have those explosive years like he had where he was being force-fed the ball in New York. Dalvin Cook, great pick. Nick Chubb, good pick. Be very interested to see how it works out with Kareem Hunt. I think they're going to split, but I think they both have standalone value, and especially if one or the other goes down, the remaining one will be a stud. Hunter Henry, he had all the breakout chances in the world when he was there with Phillip Rivers, who loves tight ends. How Tyrod Taylor or Herbert use him is remain to be seen. So I think you could be struggling at tight end if they don't incorporate him the same way. Amari Cooper, great. Oh, you should have made your team 2 Coops, 1 Cup because you have Amari Cooper and Cooper Cup. I like. I really actually like your receivers. I think you have good depth at receiver. You're gonna have options every week, but there's going to be weeks if you're starting Odell and Allen Robinson that I think you pick wrong, and you're going to have more points on your bench. Seems like a tough one. Cam Akers supposed to be becoming the guy in Los Angeles if he gets the main bulk of the work, but I think he's been injured some of camp. He's kind of a project guy. He'll be great to have once he gets the starting job and the volume. David Johnson, amazing fantasy player years and years ago, but he has not been healthy for a full season in a while. If he gets the volume, I mean, he definitely has a lot of appeal there, but I think unfortunately his best days might be behind him. I don't think his body could handle the workload of a workhorse running back. Cortland Sutton, solid. Carson Wentz, just nobody knows who he's going to throw the ball to. I mean, I saw him sitting up there not the whole draft, towards the end once most quarterbacks went, and he's just still sitting there. So somebody took him as a backup. Again, I just don't know who he's throwing the ball to. He's going to throw to somebody. So I guess we'll see if he can do it on his own. Evan Ingram, a lot of mouths to feed in New York. Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and Golden Tate, they're all very good receivers, and that running back runs through Saquon, so there's not as much to go around. I think he's going to have disappearing games. McManus, Colts, who cares? Defenses and kickers. So your graph trade was a B as well. Although, actually, don't. I would like to knock that down to a B minus. I think you have a lot of guys that are going to disappear some weeks and not live up to their projected points. Amari Cooper likes to disappear. Allen Robinson and Odell are very high risk, high reward receivers to me. They're not very consistent throughout the season. So without hurt, Dalvin Cook, great. Nick Chubb should be good as well. So I would knock you down to a B minus. Yahoo's dumb on this one. Next up, Williams' best team. If that's Will Corneliuson, what's up, Will? If it's not, hi, other Will. Also a B here, Dak Prescott, steal. He's going to be good for fantasy. Devontae Adams is mostly force-fed the ball by Aaron Rodgers, so like that pick. Mike Evans, many years ago, he burned me in a league where he was just god-awful, terrible the first half of the season. And I cut him, and I think it was Jeb who picked him up, and he started actually doing something. But I've been sour on Mike Evans for years. I'll never draft him. Tom Brady's throwing the ball. They have a lot of mouths to feed. I actually think Godwin is the man with the most receptions. Mike Evans might catch a lot of touchdowns. That all depends on old man TB12 getting it done, which I still think he has the ability, but it is going to be a new experience for him playing in not a Bill Belichick offense. So I don't like him where he has to go, but we'll see. Derrick Henry, strong running back. If he can throw a whole season like he did last year together, which was his first one in his career, he's a great pick. He had some monster weeks, and they seem to feed him the ball, and he delivers, or at least last year. Austin Eckler, I don't like that pick kind of for the same reason as Hunter Henry. He's a guy who I would have passed on in most rounds early on when he got drafted. I don't think he's used the same way in a non-Phillip Rivers offense. Jared Cook, a lot of mouths to feed in New Orleans, but they normally all get fed. Drew Brees will always sneak a tight end pass in there for a touchdown often, so I like that. Josh Jacobs, he fell much later than I thought. I actually thought I had a chance to pick him up at some point, way too late. So that's a late value who should be the main ball carrier in Las Vegas. Should poise for a breakout year. Diggs, I don't know what it is about Buffalo wide receivers, but I don't ever want to have one. But I think Josh Allen can get it done with him, but I just still need to see it. I don't know why. Just Buffalo wide receivers don't do much for me. Baker Mayfield sucked last year, so he can only hopefully get better. Since it's your backup quarterback, who I think you will rarely play over Dak, he's just insurance. Will Fuller, he's going to be amazing probably for 2 weeks, and then he's going to hurt for the rest of the year like he does. I mean, he has high upside, but high risk because he constantly misses time, and he never goes on IR. He just gets hurt for 3 weeks at a time, 4 weeks at a time. So he's just sitting on your roster, taking up space. Dave Montgomery went and fell super late also. Had the volume in Chicago all day long, but didn't do much with it last year. Maybe this year could be different. A lot of times volume, it makes a lot of sense to draft for volume. So good. I like the pick, especially where you got him. He just wasn't the fantasy stud that everybody thought he was going to be last year. Mike Gesicki, fine. He should never start over Jared Cook unless he just comes out as a beast. Zerline, When did you take Zerline? When I started looking for kickers, there was nobody worth a shit. Oh, it's because you took him in the 9th round. Okay, fine. San Francisco, great defense. I don't really know why you need a second in Denver, but maybe you know something. I don't know. Will's team got a B. For the upside of your starting lineup, I like it. For the rest of your roster, Dave Montgomery, great insurance policy. High upside with Fuller. Diggs not bad. I'll still award that B for the draft grade from Yahoo. Now we're going to go to Adam's OK team, which, full disclosure, is my team. So, yikes. I felt really good about my draft. It's a 10-man league. Your team should look amazing. So, let's see what we got. Ben Roethlisberger. I did go quarterback relatively late, and actually my first quarterback was Matt Ryan. So I have Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger. I think I'll have to flip-flop between them week to week based upon matchup. But, yeah, I don't have a high-end. I don't have a high-end guy, but I think they'll get it done. And for what I gained, I'm happy drafting them late. First overall pick, Christian McCaffrey, obviously. He was amazing last year, so he'll probably suck this year, which is awesome. Second pick, Travis Kelce, went tight end early. I believe the first one off the board. Kittle came 2 picks later. Thought about going back-to-back Kelce and Kittle, but I couldn't do it. Let's see. Kenyon Drake, next pick. He had a great year once he went to Arizona last year. So hopefully that just continues. Kyler Murray, also a pick that somebody else just beat me to. I thought I was going to make it to him. So Kyler Murray. So Christian McCaffrey, Kenyon Drake, starting running backs, starting wide receivers, Kenny Galladay. I think he's going to have a great year in Detroit. That's why I took him. Terry McLaurin was kind of an undercover stud last year in Washington. Excited about him. May have reached for him a little bit, but I knew he wasn't. I didn't think he was going to come back to me, so I kept him. Tyler Lockett, stud. Keenan Allen as a backup, and Brian Edwards, who's coming on strong in Las Vegas. So big fan. Then high upside project guys, J.K. Dobbins, Baltimore, and Antonio Gibson and Jonathan Taylor. All 3 guys have a chance to usurp the starting running backs and get the bulk of all carries. So I can't say I'm extremely deep at running back, but I have 3 guys with high upside. I got a B from Yahoo, which I semi-agree with, but I do think my team is pretty good. Obviously, I am biased. I did draft New England's kicker, who's probably not their starter, so I'm probably going to go ahead and dump him once the first week opens. And Saints defense, I think, is pretty solid as well, so I like them. So if I was really going to grade my team, I do feel like this is better than a B. I would have given myself a B+, but I'm fine with that too. It's fine. Next team going down. Now we're going to start getting into the fun teams. Fletcher's. Not sure who Fletcher's is. Oh, shit. That's fucking Jeb. He is a fucking asshole. Hey, Jeb. All right, let's see. We got Josh Allen. He likes to slang it. I like that pick. Does a little bit running. I think he'll work out fine. He's definitely not going to be. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback, but he's probably going to have top 5 weeks. So he'll be fine. Backup Cam Newton. Maybe he learns how to throw accurately. Probably not, but whatever. Receivers: Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. Julio, I like, still has a lot of value. He's got a lot left in the tank. I think kind of banged up a little bit last year, but I think played through it most of the time. DeAndre Hopkins was Deshaun Watson's boy. Does that translate to Arizona the way it has in the past? Maybe. I think you're going to find out. I don't think for the volume he got in Houston, I don't see him getting that same volume with Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk also on the team. So I don't think he returns his value at the 3rd overall pick. But we'll see. I mean, I still think he's going to be good. I just don't think quite as good. Zeke Elliott, great pick. Nothing wrong. James Conner, I do think he has a bounce back year. You got him 4th round. It's pretty solid. I think his success is based 100% on Ben Roethlisberger. If Ben Roethlisberger goes down, he's dog shit. If Ben stays all year, I think he has definitely a big bounce back year. Mark Andrews, strong. Le'Veon Bell, he went in the 7th round. He did not have a great year last year, still had 1,000 yards, but the Jets kind of suck. So I think that's why he fell as late as he did. Calvin Ridley, I like him. I actually like him a lot this year. The only thing that sucks is you are banking. You would be starting Calvin and Julio Jones, 2 receivers on the same team. That's a lot. That's a risky move, but could work. DeAndre Swift, supposed to be the guy. I actually think he possibly injured his hand. I'm not sure. Could have been Dwayne Harris. I forget who, but some small injury, probably not that big of a deal. Marvin Jones always falls late in the draft, but always produces. So that's 2 good wide receivers. And Ruggs, high upside rookie, along with Brandon Edwards. So I really like your backup receivers. Leonard Fournette is probably a sit and wait, but I don't see any real value coming out of him going to Tampa Bay from the fantasy side. And I already said Cam Newton, Jake Elliott, Chicago defense, fine. They gave you a C+, Jeb. Little disrespectful. I actually like your team to some degree. And I do have to remember it's a 10-man league, so everybody should be scoring a lot of points. Le'Veon, I don't think is going to have blow-up weeks. Mark Andrews will. Connor could. Zeke will. Hopkins could let you down a bit. I think your team's okay. I wouldn't have given you that C+. I would have gave you a B-. You're a little bit better than that. All right. Next. Greg's Genius Team. Kyler Murray. Greg, you're an asshole. I really was hoping he would fall to me. I would have taken the quarterback slightly earlier. I was surprised how early quarterbacks went in this league, but what are you going to do? So he went in the 6th. I think taking like 2 or 3 picks before me, so it sucks. But I think Kyler Murray has an awesome year. Tyreek Hill, explosive offense. Marquise Brown, explosive offense. Saquon, oh, so you must have been the 2nd overall pick. So you took him 1 pick before me. I think. I don't even fucking know. No, you took him as a 5th pick. How he went to the 5th pick. Oh, because dipshits took quarterbacks at 2 and 4. That's why. So Saquon, great steal at 5. There's no reason you should have got him at 5. Chris Carson, when healthy, great. He hasn't made it through a whole season yet. So why is this year going to be different? We'll see. Jonnu Smith, up and coming, but Tennessee doesn't really throw the ball. So he's not going to be a volume guy, but I think he'll get you some touchdowns. Ingram, I definitely think he kind of starts the year strong, but I think as the season goes on, I think J.K. Dobbins gets more involved. Hopefully one of them end up the primary back, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. Joe Burrow, another pick. I like the upside of what he's going to do there. Tyler Boyd, great pick. Deontay Johnson, Ben can support two good wide receivers, but I don't know if it's going to be Deontay Johnson. I think there's competition for that space, and I don't know if it's him. Keyshawn Vaughn ain't doing shit. John Brown, oh, that's who the other receiver was. Josh Allen, I don't think he can really support a number one wide receiver. So with Diggs and John Brown there, I just don't see either one of them getting enough work. Gardner Minshew, I like him just because of his personality and his commercial. So I like it. So you have three quarterbacks on your team, which is interesting to say the least. Kyler Murray, I would say, is your week in, week out starter, but Joe Burrow is there. Man, you got a C plus. I actually don't hate your team. Your team's actually pretty solid. So fuck Yahoo and that C plus. I would say his team's solid. This is a solid B team. So I bumped you up 2 points or 2 grades. Way to go. Next team, Aaron's team. Texted me 1 hour before I'm supposed to draft a team. Son of a bitch. But that's fine. So this dickhead went with Patrick Mahomes at the second overall pick, which is ridiculous. Then he took Chris Godwin with no running back. Plenty of good running backs out there. Crazy talk. Julian Edelman was amazing when Tom Brady was still in New England. I don't see him having the same success he did in the past with Cam Newton. Raheem Mostert, I like. San Francisco likes to run the ball, but between him, Coleman, and McKinnon, if McKinnon comes back healthy ever, I think it's a crapshoot of who has the game that day. They tend to ride the hot hand, so I think Mostert is going to have big weeks, but he's also going to disappear. Melvin Gordon, how his timeshare with Philip Lindsay is quite interesting. Oh, but don't worry because you drafted Philip Lindsay too. So if one of them go down, you're going to be in great shape. So I actually like Melvin Gordon more in that offense. He's new to the offense. Drew Lock, what's he going to do? Yeah, I think they drafted Jerry Jeudy also. There's just a lot of new parts to that offense that I'm not sure how they're going to run it. So maybe he's okay. Kittle, great tight end, fantastic pick. Ronald Jones, I guess you want him in the 7th. It's not bad taking the flyer. They still say he's going to be the starter, but Lenny Fournette's going to eat into them. Tom Brady, backup QB. He's never going to play because you have Patrick Mahomes, but you could have 2 very solid quarterbacks, but you can only start one. So what's the matter? James White, maybe. I mean, I don't see him breaking your starting lineup in a 10-man league. AJ Green, if he can come back healthy, I mean, he's always a monster. So that could be a steal that you can sleep on. Fine. Sterling Shepard, I think he's valuable, but again, too many mouths to feed in New York. Not named Saquon Barkley. Blake Jarwin projected for a big breakout year. Just call me when it happens. And Philip Lindsay, like I said, you have Denver's backfield covered. So good luck. Aaron, you have a great quarterback and a great tight end. The rest of your team, I mean, Chris Godwin could be a reception monster there. So, but I do see holes in your team with Edelman, Mostert, Melvin Gordon, and Ronald Jones. And even if you back them in with whoever's behind it, I think you deserved that C that you got. Maybe a C minus. But we'll see. Pat Mahomes might bail you out of a lot of weeks. All right. 2 teams left. Don't worry. It's almost done. Call me delicious. I know that name, Taz. Hey, Rich. How you doing, buddy? Let's see. Hey, shit on your grade 2. You gave you a C. Drew Brees, I like. I think he's still going to have a great year, even though people shit on him. Juju, shitty year last year. But you took him, I would say, where did you take him? Took him with your 3rd overall pick after your quarterback, which is weird. I mean, I think he could bounce back. If Ben's there, he's fine. I think that's just the bottom line. Jarvis Landry, PPR guy. Still have Odell there. I just don't like Cleveland's offense because of what they did last year. They did not live up to the hype that was put for them. Todd Gurley, he's going to see a lot of work. If he's not banged up or just too old because he just fell apart in Los Angeles, I'd love to see it. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring opportunities there for him, so I'm not mad at it. Some more Cleveland players. Kareem Hunt, like I said, I think he has standalone value as a 1A, 1B minus with Nick Chubb. I think, like I said, he has standalone value. Ertz, a slow start last year, but came on strong. He's a big part of their offense, and they have no one else to throw the ball to, so he should be fine. T.Y. Hilton, old man Rivers throwing the ball. I'll be very curious to see if he is the Keenan Allen for Phillip Rivers, or if they develop that rapport or not. Tarek Cohen, I think, has a big role in the Detroit offense because Dave Montgomery is so inefficient. I like the pick, but I do see you having a hard time pulling the trigger, getting him into your starting lineup. Hayden Hurst, I was thinking about taking with one of my last 2 picks. I think he could actually have a big year in Atlanta as well. Sean Jackson, he's still in the league, but I don't ever see you playing him over any of your other receivers. So he's just an insurance policy. Oh my God, what the fuck are you doing, Rich? 2 kickers. Fuck is wrong with you? Justin Tucker's a great kicker. Why the fuck you have another one is beyond me. Pittsburgh is a really good defense, and Philadelphia's offense is probably going to suck. So their defense is going to be in the field all the time. Why do you have 2 kickers and 2 defenses? Get it together, man. So probably that's actually why you earned your C grade, because you have 2 defenses and 2 kickers. Your team's not terrible. I think you don't have a lot of upside is your problem. Like, I think almost everybody in your team is going to get you a solid 13, give or take 13 points a week, but I don't see too many guys on your team that are going to blow their expectations out of the water or their projections. So because you have 2 defenses and 2 kickers, that's why you got to see. There's just guys that you should have taken a shot on. Call me, I'll tell you who they are. So your team's not that bad. I'll give you I'll give you a C plus. Oh, you can bump up to a plus. Just like I said, I don't see the ceiling for your team. Your ceiling is pretty low. All right, and the last team, which I'm going to assume this is my man Dominic Pecora. If it is, what's up, buddy? And you made it this far and you stuck around for your draft grade. Sorry you had to hear this. You have a dynamic quarterback. Then let's go over the rest of your starting roster, shall we? Sure, let's do it. N'Keal Harry. Big question mark, him, Cam Newton. I mean, I think they like him. They cut Mohamed Sanu. I think he has a role in that offense. Great. But is it going to be through him day in, day out? I highly doubt it. I just don't see the New England Patriots changing it and just going to one guy all the time. That's never really been their deal, unless your name was Gronk for a while. Robert Woods, I actually like the Robert Woods pick. He is underrated, very much like a Marvin Jones. Never goes high, but he always produces. Now we're going to get into the what the fuck section of your team. Duke Johnson, which you took Duke Johnson with what pick? Your third? No, your second pick. The fuck are you doing? Oh. I know what you did, you dumbass. You thought you were taking David Johnson. I'm going to get you saw D Johnson, thought you were taking David Johnson. And I at least hope that's what you did, because otherwise it makes no fucking sense. I don't even see David Johnson here anywhere. Whatever, I'll figure it out later. But my guess is that's what happened, because Duke Johnson sucks. He's not going to be. He should not be a starter in a 10-man league. Chase Edmonds is the backup to Kenyon Drake. So if you're banking on an injury, fine. Larry Higbee, he's going to get you 7-8 points a week. If he scores a touchdown, it's amazing. Zach Moss, I do think Zach Moss could break into the timeshare there. But right now, your two starting running backs are not the starters on their team. That's a problem. You should probably try to fix that. Damian Harris could break out and be a starter. So Zach Moss, maybe Damian Harris. But you have the Patriots backfield sewn up with Damian Harris and Sony Michel, with the exception of Rex Burkhead and James White, who are also guys you have to fight for. So Burrito, I don't even know what's happening to it in Miami, nor do I care. Jordan Howard, Matt Burrito, who's starting, who's not, I don't care. Leave him alone. Paris Campbell, I don't see the upside in a 10-man league, but whatever. So Steven Gostkowski, you did steal that pick from me. I was definitely going to go with him as my kicker at the end, but so you did actually steal something from me. Kansas City, I actually like Kansas City's defense too. They came on pretty strong towards the end of the season last year. I think they'll be fine. So Dominic Pecor, if that's you, unfortunately, I am kind of surprised they gave you a D. I think they should have gave you a D minus. This team sucks. Aside from Lamar Jackson, you're gonna have real problems. Aaron, I would call him tomorrow and make sure he gets you that money. So either way, just I don't know, like having fun, like going through this and letting you guys know what I think about your teams. Some being good, some not so good, but looking forward to a season either way. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.